Hi everyone, it's Katrina and Kev here from 360 Cruising. I hope you're all good. Today we are doing our Q&A session.
Lots of people have asked us questions and today we're going to answer them. I've not seen the questions, which will make it even more interesting. So Katrina knows the questions, I don't. So just watch my facial expressions as they're read out.
Yes, so let's get started. Okay, so the first question, Kev. Do we ever buy the drinks packages on cruise ships specifically, or just have a drink here and there when you're in the mood?
Okay, I'll take that one. In the early days of cruising, we used to buy drinks packages, but we don't really drink that much, especially on port days. So it was more economical just to take the drinks we have with our Diamond Plus package, and if we wanted a few extra drinks, just pay for them as we go. Not digging on anyone who takes the drinks package, but we felt like it was just a race to drink the amount of drink that we needed to drink to get the value from it. And that was a lot of times I said the word drink.
We don't get the drinks package. Sometimes even with our free drinks we don't actually use all them in a day, which is terrible because we should really just take some drinks and put them in our fridge.
I'm looking forward to the day someone captures you carrying loads of Red Bulls and Diet Cokes back to the room.
Okay, so next question. We would love to hear what you think about the best ships for adults versus the best ships for family and kids. Which ships do you feel get the most crowded versus the ships that seem to be less crowded, even if that's even a thing? Okay, so best ships for families and kids. I guess if you've got younger kids, it's gonna have to, I'm specifically talking about royal ships, it's gonna have to be the newer, bigger ships that have got, you know, all the activities that you can do that are available for kids. For adults, honestly, we prefer the older and smaller ships because they are just a little bit more relaxed, laid back, chill. There isn't kids running around riot. You can get a sun lounger at any time of the day. However, we do still, you know, we say so much that we prefer the smaller and older ships, but we also, if we went on, like, we loved Allure, we loved Wonder, you know, because there is stuff for adults to do too. It's a really tricky question.
I've not been on a bad Royal Caribbean cruise, I'll be honest. I've found fun whenever I've went on one, no matter what I've done. But I'm not a young kid, as you can see. But so I think for families, it may be going on, you know, Anthem or Odyssey or Oasis class, Icon class, ships like that. For everyone else, I don't think you can go wrong. There's always stuff to do. It just depends on what you like.
Recently on Freedom of the Seas, and this been revamped, the Freedom class ships, and I thought, you know, it's a smaller ship, yes, but it actually had plenty for kids to do. It had the slides at the back, but it also had the splashaway bay for the younger kids. So yeah, and I love that class ship. It's got everything without it being too big, because sometimes these mega ships are just a little bit overwhelming. I think Freedom class is a great first time kind of with your family or as a couple, just to get a taste. Okay, next question. Which cruise ship is our favourite? Now this is a tough one.
This is like picking your favourite child if you have two children. I really enjoyed Oasis. I love Oasis, the original Oasis class ship. It's got a little bit of charm to it. It's got a special place in my heart. Not had a bad cruise on it. I also love Voyager, really special place in my heart. I love Rhapsody as well.
You can't list them all.
No, I know I can't list them all, but those three ships are in the top three. I cannot pick a winner. Come back to me.
Okay, so I'm going to say completely different. My favourite cruise ship is Anthem of the Seas. I just think it is the perfect size. It's not too big, it's not too small. There's so much to do. The spaces, the areas that Anthem has, well, Quantum class ships have, is just, I just love it. But a close second is Voyager. Like Kev, Voyager has definitely got a special place in my heart.
Still haven't decided. I like the park on Oasis class ships. I love hanging out in the park.
Yeah.
But on Voyager, the High Notes bar, when you're out at sea and you've got that view, I think Voyager shades it for me.
Wow. There we go. Anthem, Voyager.
So I'm allowed to read a question now. So someone has asked if we prefer dated ships, pretty unfair calling them dated, older ships, or more updated ships. I think they mean the newer ships. And they're asking if the smaller cruise ships are too small for longer sailings. So I'll go first. I am a grumpy old man, so I think the direction that Royal's heading in is one where they're aiming at families and younger people to come and cruise and drink and party, especially around the Caribbean, and that's fine. I have no problem with that. I just prefer peace and quiet, so I prefer the older ships because they still have that cruising charm that if you're an older cruiser you will have experienced. So I don't think they're too small for longer sailings. We just did 35 nights on Voyager and it was perfect. Don't have a single complaint about it. I would say that I prefer the older ships and I think they're completely fine for sailing. I was booked on the World Cruise on Serenade. I didn't go because of reasons, but that's quite a small ship, having been on that as well. So I would have been perfectly comfortable on that for the duration of the World Cruise.
Did with Voyager for 35 nights. I got a lot of questions daily asking if I got bored because we had, out of the 35 nights, I think we had 20 sea days, and at one point we had 10 consecutive sea days, so we didn't see land for over 10 days, and I didn't get bored once. It's a smaller ship, but there's still plenty to do. They still have great activities, the shows, the spaces. I think the older ships have a better flow, and they weren't designed for the quirks and the kind of theme park kind of amusements and all the additionals. They were designed for cruising and having that space and that flow. And I think they're absolutely perfect. And with the smaller ships is that you connect with the crew because you're going to the same spots and you see them every single day, but you also connect with a lot of guests. Like, we're meeting up with a couple that we made friends with when we're out in Thailand in 2 months, so that just shows you we have made genuine friends, and it's on the smaller ships that we make these friends.
And shout out to my brother Kevin from Freedom of the Seas from Trinidad and Tobago. He worked in the non-smoking casino bar. He's my brother, my long lost brother.
Oh my god, yes. Okay, so the next question, which is a really good one, and I don't think I can answer this first.
Oh, wow.
It is, would we cruise on any other cruise line besides Royal? So if you don't know, we have done 36 cruises, but the 36 cruises have all been with Royal Caribbean, so we are very much loyal to Royal. So this is a great question for us.
Okay, I think the cruise lines are not stupid, so they have their loyalty package. And when you get to a certain level with a cruise line, it doesn't make much sense to go anywhere else. So we are second highest tier on Royal, so we get a lot of perks and they look after us and it's great. Just released the loyalty match with their sister brand Celebrity, so we are thinking about going on a celebrity cruise. Yeah. And saying all that, absolutely no issues with going on another cruise ship at all. So yes, I don't think it's going to diminish the experience at all. But we've had so many overwhelmingly positive experiences with Royal, it's hard to make that break. It's like getting divorced. And on that note, over to you, Katrina.
Yeah, so I would say in this last 6 months we have been researching other cruise lines for itinerary purposes. We're going to be at certain parts of the world where Royal's not going to be there. A Royal ship's not going to be there, so we have been looking at other cruise lines, and I think it has opened up our eyes that there is these amazing itineraries out there that we've not done yet that we could do, that other cruise lines provide. Okay, next question is, what are the do's and don'ts for first time cruisers? We have a person going on their first cruise next month. Next cruise next month.
So jealous. I remember my first cruise and how excited I was, so what a time. Just enjoy it first of all. I think that when you go on the ship it can be overwhelming. You'll go on to the promenade, it'll be busy, there'll be a lot of people there. You might then go up to the Windjammer, also busy. So my first don'ts are, don't hang about in the promenade, don't go to the Windjammer, go and explore the ship. Your room won't be ready till about 2 p.m, so take it as an opportunity just to get a feel for the ship and to explore. Couple of do's: take a bathing suit if you have kids who want to go in the pool, because if you pack it in your suitcase, take it in your carry-on, because if you pack it in your suitcase you won't get that until after your room is available. So if your kids want to go in the pool, that might be problematic. You can't really do anything wrong. Okay, so people give all these tips and all these rules, but at the end of the day, you're on a ship, you're there to enjoy yourself, you're there to explore. Just be careful, because in the first couple of hours of your cruise, they will try and sell you dining packages, drinks packages, and all these things. Just trying to nickel and dime you. You don't need to buy it. You've already paid for your cruise, and you don't have to buy anything extra and optional if you don't want to. So don't get suckered into that, because that's what happened to me on my first cruise.
When it comes to excursions, I would always research the port in advance. So first of all, you want to look to see if it's a tender boat or not. That's when you need to get on a smaller boat to actually get into the cruise port. This is key because there's maybe 4,000 to 6,000 passengers all trying to get on these small tender boats. And if you've got a plan for that day, you need to factor this in. Research, when I say research the cruise ports as well, look at what other people are providing. We love the app called Shipmate. It lists, you can pick your cruise and it knows exactly where you're going at what date, and it recommends different excursions, and they're all got reviews on them, so you can read through them. They've got photos as well, so you can really get a feel to whether it's for you or not. And what we've noticed is that the excursions that, for example, Royal Caribbean provide versus what you get on Shipmate, they're the exact same but a heck of a lot cheaper. And what we've also noticed is that they're more not exclusive, intimate. You're not on a busload of people. You're sometimes in like a private car. So we've had a lot of private, it feels like a private tour really for half the price. So don't feel like you need to, as well, don't feel like you need to have an excursion booked for every single port. There's a lot of me talking about ports, but it's very expensive.
In fairness, don't just go on Shipmate, go on 360cruising.com and AI will have a look for excursions for you, and we'll also research ports for you. And Katrina also runs a fantastic school community that can help you plan your cruise as well. But just something on, you just triggered my memory there, Katrina. We were on a cruise, we're going to Rome, and it's obviously not Rome because Rome is not near a port, it's Civitavecchia, if I pronounced that correctly. And there was a family who just said, we're just going to get off at the port and explore the port, and there's absolutely nothing there. So they hadn't planned anything in advance. They thought it was actually close to Rome and then found out it wasn't, so they're just going to get off and walk around. But that's not the best port for exploring, so it does pay to do your research ahead of time.
Okay, so next question is around Wi-Fi. So the question is, guessing you need Wi-Fi on board if you're working on the ship. How do you manage the cost over an extended period of time? This is a good question, and a question that I've had spring up in the recent weeks.
Katrina's been in the Sun newspaper recently, and I think she broke down our costs while we're travelling and cruising, and it's hard to believe, but we do actually spend less money when we're away than we do at home. So we actually come out ahead even though we have to pay for Wi-Fi, and we have to pay for it because we're so connected, Katrina through 360 Cruising, and myself through all the stuff that I do in my day-to-day job as well. So it's a necessary cost. I think the costs of Wi-Fi on a ship are really, really high, but Katrina's fortunate that she found GigSky, so we use GigSky as well, so we mix and match when we need to. But yeah, if I want to do work and Katrina wants to do 360 Cruising, we need to pay for Wi-Fi somehow, so that's what we do.
Little tip is definitely, again, pre-book the Wi-Fi before you go on board. They do have sales and it does fluctuate, so that's something we always keep an eye on, is when we're seeing a decent price for the ship Wi-Fi. Okay, so we're now on to the topic of our relationship.
Who's asking these questions?
People are obviously interested. So the first one is, even the best of couples can get to a point where we have too much time together. How do you factor in personal time when we are cruising so much, just the two of us? Kev, do you want to go first?
Oh, it seems to be always me going first. We are very fortunate for two reasons. We love hanging out. Even when we're at home, we hang out all the time, spend loads of time together. But that's the truth, we're best of friends and we get on so well. But also we have kind of different sleep patterns. So I'll wake up at really, really silly o'clock, and if we're on a cruise, I'll just go and find a space to go and work on my laptop, one of the bars or somewhere. So I get up really early and do that, which gives us a little bit of a break from each other. There's that, but we're also not afraid to go and do our own thing. Mm-hmm. If we need to, if Katrina wants to do something different to me, we'll just go and do those different things. and we're equally as comfortable with that as well. Got a really good and healthy and strong relationship, I feel, where we're best of friends, but at the same time it's okay if someone goes and does something different, as I said.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say that about the I didn't think you were going to say it, was that sometimes I'll go, right, I'm going to the gym and you want to go and do something else, you'll be sitting by the pool or eat pizza. So yeah, I think, but as well at the same time, we don't want to not spend time together, we want to be together. I don't like it when I'm not like with Kev. I do miss him, so I think that helps. But as well, another good tip is that we're never, when we are on these longer sailings, we don't just confine ourselves to the cabin, which is a very small space. We do move around the ship. I think as well, we're out and about. I think maybe if we're in like our cabin for 8-9 hours a day, we might have a different story here, but we do move about a lot. Okay, next question is a good one, and I want to see how Kev answers this. So, I know you guys do lifestyle travelling. If and when you decide to have a child or children, what would that look like in terms of family cruising? I hope that's not too personal question.
So yeah, Katrina and I have talked about this several times, and family's just not on the cards for us at the moment. It's not to rule out in the future or anything like that, but it's just not something that we want to do just now. So I'm guessing if we did decide to start a family, we would have to travel less, but we enjoy our life and we enjoy our lifestyle, and I hope I'm right here in what I'm saying, but yes, we've had a very grown-up conversation about this a while back, and things can change, and that's just life. But at the moment, that's just my position. It's our position. We'll see what Katrina says in her answer.
Answered correctly. Yeah, we both had that conversation, you know, when we're going to be moving and travelling and going on lots of cruises, that, you know, we can't do that with either. Well, I can't go on cruises when I'm pregnant.
Well, you can, because somebody went into labour the other week.
Oh yeah, that's true. Hit it well. Or, you know, not to say never, but right now we want to travel and see the world. Okay, another good question. So, guys, it's great to follow you on your travels, but sometimes I wonder how you manage your normal daily life, aside from the work you've already explained you do on cruises, but for example, being away from your parents and other family members for so long. I'm very, very close with my mum and, you know, my niece and my family. I'm very much a family person. Moved out from my mum's home. I literally moved 3 minutes down the road. So I was always very close to my mum. Even when I had my own place, I was always with her. So it probably, yeah, it did take a little adjustment when I met Kev, and as soon as I met Kev, we were off travelling all the time. People couldn't keep up on where we were in the world and what we were doing, and it's still like that. When we are home, I always make sure my priority is to see my family, even though when life is very, very hectic, and trust me, it is, but just even, you know, half an hour or an hour of their time.
My family are glad when I disappear. You don't need to put up with me.
Yes.
No, it's obviously difficult being on the go all the time, but at the same time, technology these days allows you to keep in touch with everyone. Mm-hmm. So as Katrina says, we always try to catch up with everyone when we're home, but yeah, we try our best, and family's never far from your thoughts anyway. And I've said to everyone I know, if we do move, then anyone is welcome to come whenever they want. Come visit, come stay. You know, it's difficult, not going to lie. I think Katrina struggles more than I do, but you know, we try our best.
Okay, the next question is, what made us so committed to cruise ships?
Great question.
Yeah, so I mean, I can go first.
Yeah,
this one.
go for it.
So I'm not gonna lie, I was definitely one of those people who looked down on cruising, and you know, that person who's never been on a cruise and just thought there's no way I could never do that. I don't know how people would want to. That's not a vacation at all. But it really, I have seen so much of the world, and it's all down to cruising. So much, experienced so much, and when we've done our cost breakdowns, it's insane. The countries that we've been to, and in one leg of a cruise, and if we were to fly to these different places, pay for hotels, eating out, etc., etc., it doesn't come anywhere close to how affordable a cruise is.
I always remember my first cruise, and when I told people I was going on a cruise, they were like, oh, it's just for old people, they just do bingo and things like that. And the best part is you unpack, you take it at your pace, and you visit different places, all for a reasonable price, in my opinion. So while my first cruise was sort of older crowd, these days it's more of a mix, a real mix. So you meet people from all walks of life. It's fantastic. So I love chatting to people. I love meeting new people. So it ticks so many boxes for me personally that I love it.
Okay, next question is, what do we do for work? And again, this is a very popular question. I get asked this all the time. So I have a background in marketing, and when I say this, I sometimes get some hate that I do, I'm a content creator. That is not my background. I have worked in all different fields of marketing over the last 12 to 15 years of my life. Most recently I was in CRM marketing for a publishing company. But at the start of this year, it's only a month ago, January, I decided to leave my full-time job and focus on 360 cruising, as well as helping Kev and some of his other projects, which he will get into. So yeah, that's my background.
What I do is crazy. So I work primarily in IT for universities around the world. Very fortunate for the last 10 to 15 years that I've done that on a full-time basis. I've always had little side projects that I do, mainly around football. Katrina and I have obviously just built 360 Cruising, which I think is the first AI cruising solution out there. It's an advisor in your pocket on your phone. If you need advice about cruising or a port or an excursion, you just pull out your phone and you can ask the advisor. It's really good. Thank you to everyone who's taken the time to do that. Aside from that, I've built loads of football apps in a similar vein, which help other coaches around the world. So I've been a football coach for many years, done basically everything in football there is to do. I've got a lot on the go. I don't sit still. I can't sit still. You probably noticed me going like this with my hands a lot and tapping my feet. So there are side projects that are really full-time jobs now, as well as my 9 to 5 job as well. So that's what I do. And everyone's like, what does he do? But yeah, I'm a busy person.
Okay, the last question, and it is around Scotland, where we live. Okay, so my roots are from Scotland and I want to visit. Any must-sees or must-dos while you're there, and when is the best months to visit? So
these are great questions, by the way.
Yeah, so this is quite a popular question we get when we're on cruises. When people realise that we're from Scotland, we become like tour guides. And I always say to Kev, we need to actually recreate what we tell people to do in a video.
So I always say, and it's funny because when we start speaking to people about Scotland, they always mention Steve Marsh. So Steve is from a town that's about 15 minutes away, and he's got a really popular YouTube. So that's most people's reference point for Scotland that we speak to. It's so strange. So if you take Scotland, most people go to Edinburgh, but the middle of Scotland's really nice as well. So Stirling Castle is my favourite castle in Scotland, and I always say to everyone from different parts of the world to go and visit there. But if you go north of Inverness, so if you start at Inverness, which is on the east coast of Scotland, and you travel north to the top of Scotland, and you travel along the top of Scotland and down the west coast and then back to Inverness, that's 500 miles, and it's the North Coast 500, and it's unrivaled. I've been a lot of places in the world, but that is unrivaled, but only in the summer, not during the winter when it's snowy and cold. So I would say the best months are maybe April, May. It's not quite peak season, you'll get a bit of rain, but the roads will be clear, and that's important because you're sharing those single track roads with other traffic coming the other way, and sheep, and it's the sheep's country. You're just passing through, so you have to let the sheep get right away.
I've said there's so much beauty in Scotland that even us don't, the last time we were there was probably this time last year, and we got out the car to take some pictures and just take it all in, and it's just breathtaking. You kind of take a step back and you're like, wow, this is on my doorstep and it's absolutely beautiful, and it makes you proud to actually be from Scotland. Whereas, and I think we probably don't appreciate that much.
Okay, everyone, that was our Q&A. I didn't know the questions beforehand. There were some really good questions in there. Thank you for sending all the questions in and getting Katrina to surprise me with those questions. never stop submitting questions to us. I know that I'll speak on Katrina's behalf here just because I have the mic, but I know that Katrina's really busy at the moment and she gets a lot of DMs, but she has started a free school cruising community and she's very active in there. So if you cannot get her on your DMs, then please hop onto the free community and you'll get an answer from her on there. And if you don't get an answer from her, there's a heap of other cruisers that can help you out as well. We've also got our 360cruising.com AI platform, so as a last resort or first resort, you can jump on there and try and get answers to your questions as well. And thank you once again, we really appreciate the questions. You want to say bye?
Yeah, thank you again. And yeah, we appreciate all your support and love.
I like how you're the face that runs the place and I'm the one answering all the questions. Till next time, bye bye.
Bye.